Well. This is what it looks like to get humble. Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes are humbled by the Oregon Ducks, 42-6, and it should have been 42-0 if not for that last minute touchdown there in garbage time. I think they scored it with about 2 or 3 minutes left. Most people that have been watching college football and watching the Power 5 and watching the Pac-12 and know the talent that is in this conference and that is in college football. This is no longer Jackson State. This is a guy that was elite in the NFL. I'll give you that, even though if you have listened to some of the other podcasts we've done on this channel, you'll know that I am very skeptical of Deion Sanders for being too much about flash and not enough about substance, and a guy that, even though was incredibly technically gifted, playing as a cornerback in the NFL, divided his time between football and baseball and avoided contact at all costs when he was in the NFL. This is another level, Deion Sanders. This is another level, Shedeur Sanders, who is, a tremendously talented quarterback. And this is a tremendously talented team. There's no doubt about that. But a lot of people have talent. There is a ton of talent in America in football. The key piece here that you're missing is spending your time on honing that talent, on practicing, on strategy, on studying your opponent, on realizing that you are playing in the Power 5 conference, the best of the best. This is a team that scored 81 points on a team in their opening game and beat Texas Tech and is just crushing everyone in their way, and has a Heisman candidate in Bo Nix and has a great coach in Dan Lanning. Listen, there are few people that hate Oregon more than Washington fans like me. But for a guy like Deion to come in from Jackson State, having barely any experience, especially in the Power 5, especially in a respectable elite football league, to come in with this kind of bluster and talk about keeping receipts and going at journalists and going at fans and going right into that Colorado room that struggled last year, undoubtedly. I think they won one game last year, and say, not even give them their respect as humans. Just say, I'm coming in here and I'm cleaning house. You guys are getting out of here. I mean, that is incredibly disrespectful to those guys. And every week before the game, I'm going to buy my team sunglasses to wear so they can be like the coolest team out there, or I'm going to show them my watch, the bling on my watch, and just all this stuff that is not related to football. I mean, you can get away with this stuff in high school and pee-wee football and maybe some of the lower levels of college football, but not in the Pac-12, not in the Power 5. And for a team that almost lost to the 100th ranked Colorado State Rams last year, we should have seen this coming. And Deion, he was very quiet before this game, admittedly, after being really talkative before the first 3 games, because I feel like he knew what was coming in this one. Oregon is a different beast. Oregon is not only top 10, but probably could be higher, as my brother Bessem said, and they should be, and they could be top 3. And I can't wait for them to play Washington, by the way, because that's going to be a hell of a game. So let's go over some of the stats in this game, and this is not going to look good for Oregon here. Total yards, Oregon. Sorry, it's not going to look good for Colorado. Oregon, total yards, 522. Colorado, total yards, 199. Colorado, 3.3 yards per play. Oregon, 7.2 yards per play. Total passing yards, Bo Nix outdueled Shedeur Sanders, 282 to 159. Total yards per attempt, 8.1 for Oregon, 4.7 for Colorado. Rushing yards, Dylan Edwards, where'd you go today? Buddy? 40 total yards on the ground for Colorado, 240 for Oregon. And 1 turnover by Bo Nix. I guess Colorado can hang their head on that they got uh, a interception on Bo Nix, and Shedeur Sanders didn't throw any picks. So you know what? If you want to hang your hat on something, they didn't throw. They didn't turn the ball over. So great job for them. But in every other aspect, Colorado or Oregon dominated on offense, putting up 42 points. They dominated on defense, allowing 6 points. And you know what? They dominated on special teams because they blocked the kick. It should have been 42-7 after Colorado scored a touchdown, but they blocked the kick as well. Dominated in every facet. I mean, after this, how can you talk at all if you are Colorado and Deion Sanders? How can you talk at all? They silenced them. It was 42-0 with 2 minutes or 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. There's nothing left to say. I mean, you got to, and it's going to be really interesting to see how do they react now. Do they dive into the film? Do they put their head down and dive into film and dive into strategizing and dive into practice, or do they keep up with this this bluster and this hubris and all this kind of stuff that they've been putting out there? We shall see. Shedeur Sanders, who'd been averaging like 400 yards passing, 159 in this game, only one touchdown there at the end of the game. Dylan Edwards, who had been, averaging, I guess, maybe 50 or 60, he had 21 rushing yards in this one. And that, that trio of Weaver and Horn, and, well, Travis Hunter was out for this game, but they had been averaging almost 100 yards a game, and Weaver had the best game in this one for Colorado, 9 catches, 75 yards. But Horn, 1 catch for -4 yards, didn't get it done. Harrison, 3 catches for 22 yards. I mean, nobody really did anything in this game here. And another stat that they talked about is how terrible the Colorado offensive line is. I think they said now through 4 games, Shedeur Sanders has been hit 22 times. So, Deion, did you do a good job of retaining or bringing in some of those offensive linemen, or maybe some of those guys from last year would have been just as good as this? Because it seems like they could have been. All right, for Oregon, Bo Nix, what kind of day did he have? 28 for 33, incredibly efficient at 84.8% efficiency, 276 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did have that 1 pick. He had a QBR of 179. Irving, the running back, 10 carries for 89 yards. James, 54 yards and a touchdown. Whittington, 45 yards and a touchdown. Bo Nix also ran for a touchdown. Man, this run defense for Colorado, pretty pathetic. Pretty pathetic. And Franklin, for Oregon, 8 catches, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. He led the team there. And then Kelly caught a touchdown as well. The defense here, Birch for Oregon, 2 sacks. Williams, 1.5 sacks. Tuioti, a sack. Just a ton of sacks here. They allowed they got 7 sacks on the day. 3 tackles for loss. Domination. And, of course, I'm going to repeat this again. I am a Washington supporter at the end of the day. And it pains me. It pains me to see this happen. It pains me to see that damn duck doing all those push-ups. And speaking of that duck, they almost had a perfect moment to start this game when the duck came out with the big chain and the glasses and the hat and all that stuff, trying to I guess match Deion's energy or mock him a little bit. And they went. He had like a big old hammer, and then like a clock, like a prime time, like kind of mocking him. And they started hitting it like as they were coming out, but his freaking head flew off. That mascot head flew off, and then he put his head down and ran back inside. So that could have been an amazing moment. But again, that tells you hubris and bluster and all this kind of stuff. It comes back. It does not pay off. Trust me. It only makes people like me that saw this coming get on you even more, and it looks even worse for you when you do stuff like that. So when you put forth that kind of bluster and that kind of hubris and you don't live up to it, this is the kind of stuff you get. So it's a big risk for both. It didn't pay off for Deion, didn't pay off for Shedeur, and didn't pay off for that damn duck, which I love to see, to be honest with you. So that was very satisfying. And when you talk about Dan Lanning, the way he motivated these guys before the game, you saw it in the thumbnail of this one. Where they're playing for clicks, we're playing for wins. Substance over bluster, or whatever he said about, and that's true. I mean, college football at this level, at the top 10 level, is a level that Deion was not ready for, that he could not possibly be prepared for coming from Jackson State. So this is the result you get. Oregon defeats Colorado, crushes them 42-6, could have been 42-0. And Colorado is left to pick up the pieces on this one. They're clearly not contenders at this point. They're going to fall out of the top 25. They were 18. They dropped to 19 last week after getting embarrassed, or in my eyes, embarrassed by having almost lost to Colorado State. So they're going to fall out probably at 25, maybe stay at 25 because, the media and, loves these guys. They love having the story of Colorado because of the entertainment factor of Deion Sanders and his family. So that's how this one ends. 42-6, Oregon crushes Colorado. It's a lesson in humility in this one. Deion Sanders humbled, and it's going to be very intriguing to see where he goes from here. Is he going to keep up this act of keeping receipts and the Rolls Royce and the watch and the glasses and the hat and all this kind of stuff? Is he going to keep that up, or is he going to humble himself? And does he have the capacity? Does he want to be a coach because he enjoys watching film, because he enjoys strategy, because he enjoys developing players? Listen, he's a great motivator. Great motivator. I will not doubt that he is a good motivator. But does he have the wherewithal to be a great Power 5 coach? That's another level. And we will see. We will see. So that's it for this one. Washington plays a little bit later tonight. Maybe I'll try to get a podcast for them after whatever happens with Cal. But you know what? Welcome to the Big 12, Deion. Welcome to the Power 5, Deion. You got humbled.